Hey guys, it's Sean here. I wanted to take a minute to do a quick little review of a mask that I recently purchased and had been looking for a while. I had spotted it online and I decided I had to have it for my collection, being that I am a huge Creature from the Black Lagoon fan. And no, I do not have a huge creature collection. But he has always been my favorite Universal monster, my favorite monster in general. So whenever I see an item, either at a good price or just something that's really cool, then I try and acquire it if I can. Now, of course, I'm not talking about the Trick or Treat Studios mask, which I am focusing on at the moment. I did get this mask because for the price point and the detailing on the mask, I couldn't pass it up. I mean, it's one of the closest, if not the closest representation of the creature that I have seen. So yeah, I had to get one for myself, and it's a beautiful mask. And yeah, so anyway, I'm sure most of you have seen this piece before in other reviews and in stores or maybe in your own collection. But this video is not only going to focus on this mask a little bit, it's going to focus on this mask. And I know as you're sitting there gasping in horror as you look at this, this is the mask I was talking about that I really wanted to get, and it's a little squishy looking right now because of the way I've got it placed on a table. It's filled with plastic bags, trying to keep some semblance of a shape so that I could stand it up for the video. It's really not that bad of a mask. Let me just start off by saying that I have seen some really lousy Creature from the Black Lagoon masks in the past, and many of them licensed by Universal, which always kind of blew my mind. Now, the really old ones, the cheesy ones, who doesn't love a good cheesy mask, from the past? A lot of those, although they don't look exactly like him, they're really cool. Well, that's kind of the vibe I got when I spotted this dude online. The thing is, I had spotted this mask along with another one, which I have yet to get, but it's still available. I have checked. So when I went to order this one, it was gone. The person that had listed it, I believe it was on Amazon, no longer had it available. So then I, of course, looked on other sites, finding it, but not for the price that I had originally seen it for, a price that I thought was fairly reasonable. So anyway, I checked again and finally came across it on Amazon, where I had originally seen it, and for basically the same price. I don't know if it was the same dealer or not, but anyway, I ordered it while it was available, and here it is. It came to me in a flimsy plastic mailer, as I'm sure many of you have received masks in those. And I initially thought, wow, this mask is very tiny if it's in this mailer. But when I opened it up, I realized, it was about the size that I imagined, comparable to the size of the Trick or Treat Studio mask, as you can see the side by side. Of course, it is a much thinner rubber than the Trick or Treat Studio mask. Something I do like about it, however, and let me see if I can get a good focus on the eye. The eye actually has a plastic eye glued to the rubber mask, which I thought was kind of cool. And I didn't realize that when I ordered it, but on closer inspection, when it arrived, there we go, I think, I was like, oh, well, that's, okay, that's different. Whereas if you look at the Trick or Treat Studio mask, which I love, you can actually look out of the center of the eye, and they've got it speckled, which if you're a true fan of the film, that's pretty darn accurate as to how it looked in the film, which, of course, the second film, they gave him the more bulbous eyes, which I never quite understood. The original lenses they used in the original Creature from the Black Lagoon have always been my favorite. He has always been my favorite. That's been my favorite representation. So as I said, I had to have this mask. But as a creature collector, and collector of oddities, bootleg toys, and things like that, this fits right in because obviously this is not licensed by Universal in the least. It's made in China, as so many products are these days, especially the knockoffs. But anyway, let's take a closer look at this mask. It's got just a general green paint job, a little bit of dry brushing, not a whole lot, just very faint. If it may even just be some light airbrushing, but very light. Then you've got the red lips, which so many of the creature masks have had in the past, and the Trick or Treat Studio has more of a burgundy, I would call it, lip, which, hey, I'm cool with that. And of course, the Trick or Treat has the gold highlights, which if you've ever seen the Time magazine photos, that is accurate to the original coloring of the creature. And I had read that has something to do with the way it would show up on the black and white film, which makes a lot of sense. It was just a beautiful, beautiful outfit, a beautiful costume design, a beautiful paint job. Now this one, as I said, is pretty basic. The eyes on this struck me as odd. I mean, they're so dark. They're so darn dark. I mean, it's almost like, I don't know what you would call it. It's just like he hasn't slept in weeks, and there's like dark circles around his eyes, and they're almost like this red, irritated look, or he's just been up drinking a lot of coffee and watching like a lot of TV. I don't know. But, the sculpt overall, and as I said, let me get back here. Let me get from down here. It's not a horrible mask. I don't want to make this video to slam this mask, because it's just not a terrible mask. They got a lot of it right. The look, the wrinkles on the brow, and of course the nose area. Let's take a side gander, shall we? Even the ridges here, are pretty accurate. If you look at the Trick or Treat Studios version, of course, it's better. The sculpting is all around better and more detailed, but this is nothing to sneeze at either. And with a proper paint job, this could really be quite a nice mask. The head ridge, on the top there where the back fin begins on his head and runs down his back, is there with this little pronounced area here, which of course the original has as well. And if you look at it from the side, he's got that very pronounced lip. The Trick or Treat Studio version, has that as well, but it seems like this one is just a hair more turned up, which almost gives it a duck-like resemblance if you look at it, from the side like that. Yeah, and as I said, it's a thinner rubber, and as you can see here, it's molded, excuse me, it's molded in just a typical latex color. I mean, it's not like it's molded in green latex or anything. It's painted. Everything's paint. If we come around to the back here, we'll do a side-by-side here, and as you can see, it's not terrible. Both masks, although not identical, but comparatively speaking, they're both done quite well. The Trick or Treat, of course, has a couple Velcro straps in the back so that you can put it on and take it off easier. The Trick or Treat has the bumps on the back there. And this one has their own version of the bumps, I guess you would say. They're just not, they're not as many. And theirs are more round. And what I'm talking about are these things here, these. But if you look at the, you know, the trick-or-treat version, they're more elongated, which is fine. And but if you look at how, you know, how these stand off of the trick-or-treat mask, they've done a pretty darn good job with the sculpt here as well. So with that being said, I think yeah, I'm pretty happy with this mask overall. And like I said, over the past few years, I have seen Universal actually churn out, or license, I should say, masks that just are an embarrassment. I mean, it's cool. It's always cool when they release a new creature mask. It's even cooler when the mask looks good. And there are so many times that it just does not look good. I would say this mask here, obviously not as awesome as this one, but this mask here, to me anyway, is far superior to many of the creature masks that have been released in the past 10 years. And I'm being completely serious when I say that. If you don't believe me, Google Creature from the Black Lagoon rubber masks and see what kind of utter, just embarrassing nonsense pops up. You know, all things considered, if you are somebody who, you know, likes to buy a mask for on the cheap and refurbish it, give it a new paint job, freshen it up a bit, then this mask, I think, is an amazing piece for that. And if you wanted to take out the, you know, the fake eyes, you could do that. I mean, I'm sure you could just pop them out, cut them out, whatever you wanted to do. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very happy with this. And actually, when you look from the front, you can see that the point of the fin on the Chinese version is very pronounced. Whereas if you look at the Trick or Treat Studio version, it's missing. It's not that it's not there, but it starts a little further back, as it should, because if you watch the film, he's just not walking around with what appears to be a spike on his head the whole time. It starts a little further back. So, and pardon my shaky camera work here. I'm just trying to get some decent shots. So anyway, I just had to do that. I had to make this video. I hadn't seen anybody review this mask yet. It's been in my closet about a month or so. I just had to find the time to do this. And so anyway, as I said, I'm can't say enough about the Trick or Treat Studio mask to the left. But I also have to give kudos to whatever Chinese rubber mask company out there, because there are no credentials on this thing, as is usually the case. But whatever company is churning these out, I rather like it. It's a little different, it's a little creepy, and it's a lot cool. So with that being said, I hope you have enjoyed this little 15-minute slice of fun comparing the Trick or Treat Studio Creature from the Black Lagoon mask, which is a true beaut, to its Chinese brother. So if you can find one of these online and add it to your collection, I would highly recommend it. It's a very neat, very unique, and actually a very detailed representation of our favorite Universal monster. So I'm going to end on a very dramatic side-by-side shot. Hope you enjoyed this video. like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.